Because remember, towards the end, I left first, so it was a lot easier for you to leave. Because if we were both still there, then there's a good chance we would have like continued trying up to this day, maybe. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Driven. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the importance of family support when you start a business.
Yeah, and for those that don't know us, my name is Juan. This is my brother Alexis, and together in 2019, we started a business that currently is at a run rate of roughly over $3 million a year. So at least up to that point, I think we have a good idea as to what we're talking about.
Yep, and just to add to that, I know that we're brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that because the topic is about family support in business.
Oh, okay. I thought I forgot to mention it. Okay. Fuck it.
Yeah, and it's just because of that topic.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
We're brothers.
Yeah.
We started this business. Well, we started entrepreneurship, like the definition of entrepreneurship. We started that fresh out of high school.
Yep.
With side hustles, trying to make more money. We were selling electronics. We got into life insurance. We did our first business. It failed. And now we have our current business. So we're brothers. So we have the same parents. I guess off the bat, sibling support is just me and you. And so we had each other's support.
Yep.
Because, yeah, we've been through the ringer. How they say we've been through the ringer.
And I feel like one of the things that was extremely, like, crucial, you could say, in our success is the fact that we had each other's support. Each other's brothers, family support.
Yep.
Each other's. And when I say family, brothers, sibling support. Because one of the things that I'm like, I feel like without each other, it would be a lot easier to give up.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot easier. Yeah. Because one of the things that, I still remember the marathon. I felt like, man, would I have given up? And it's a very good chance that I probably would have given up. But the fact that you were there, like, just say, just kept, we're there. It's like, well, I can't just, go to the side and, I had to finish, even though I was walking. And so I think similarly in business, it would be like, if you fail, it's only you. But I know because we were in business together, if you stopped or I stopped, it's like you're not just failing yourself, but you're failing the other individual.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's one of the reasons why, having each other's support was crucial into having a relatively successful company. Because, I feel like it's so much easier to give up when you're just by yourself. Like, it's so easy. Like, things go hard or things go wrong. Okay, I'll just, that's it.
No one's watching. No one's keeping me accountable.
Yeah, exactly. And I think accountability was another one. But the fact that we had each other, we were in business together, I do think that was a really good something that allowed us to continue and grow.
Yeah, one thing I will say about the marathon, because people are gonna be like, you can't even run a marathon. So that was during high school.
Yeah,
I know we didn't train for them because we were just YOLO. So
I did not train for
and
it at all.
This is gonna be making excuses, but we didn't train. And I remember that day it was freaking raining. Remember, it was fucking pouring. That was one of the marathons that it poured. It was just raining. It was freaking heavy. We were cold, so
yeah,
that's from a context.
Yeah, there was no training. I remember even in the 18 mile, some type of training, but even in the 18 mile, we just happened to cut or go the wrong way.
Yep.
Where it shortened the race. So
yeah, because the other marathons we finished quick.
Yeah,
I know I ended up running like 6.
Yeah, I think the fastest was, because I remember the slowest one was 7 hours and something.
For you or me?
Me.
Okay, for me it was like 8 hours.
For me, I think it was 7 hours. And then the other one was faster. I forgot which one.
Yeah.
But anyways.
That's beyond the point. But yeah, so that was us. That was me making excuses for the marathon. But
but the fact that we had each other's support, because like I mentioned, if I weren't to have your support in the marathon for sure, I think I'm like, I think I might have gone. But I'm like, so let's just say I probably would have.
Yep. And that's a good observation, because I know that kind of happened when we were into life insurance. Yeah. Because remember, towards the end, I left first, so it was a lot easier for you to leave. Because if we were both still there, then there's a good chance we would have like continued trying up to this day, maybe.
That
would have been interesting.
There's some people that, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but I think at that point, like, there was also an event that kind of like it. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to, like, with these people.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
And they were diverse, so it's not like a certain type of people.
Yeah. So we had each other's support. I think to begin with, I know that yes, we're siblings, but then we also went into business together. And because we went into business together, we still have that support. We like I mentioned in the beginning, when we went through the ringer, I know there was points where we didn't have money. I remember there was points where or instances where you only had a few cents in your bank account. I was in the same boat, a few cents in my bank account, even sometimes overdraft.
Yeah, a lot of times overdraft. I still remember the bank used to call me twice a day. Yeah, I still remember, and I just saved that phone as Chase Bad. I might actually still have the number, but I remember that. I
never went into that, like, for them calling me like twice a day. But I think it was, remember, because you would get tickets for the red light. That was one of the parking tickets.
And that was 100%. And so accountability for everything, because I think everything that does happen to you, it's just in general, it's your fault.
Yep.
It's your fault. And so taking accountability for that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I say that because I know we had each other's support. In the beginning, we were like at our worst. It's like, damn, like I could easily I'm not going to try anymore. I'm just going to get a job. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to try to better myself. And if you want to do it, then you could do whatever you want. So I never got to that point.
Yeah.
But I know, like, again, for people that go into businesses with, siblings, or even not just sibling support, but it might get to the point where maybe I was on the outside. You started this business. I see you. You're struggling. You're doing this. And instead of supporting you, like, okay, just give it more time. You're going to make it eventually. You know how there's always those people, or like, not those people, but there's always those situations where they're like, just go find a job. Go make money.
Yeah, and luckily for us, we kind of had that with our parents. Not in the most recent one you said, but more of like, they were supportive. Like, they never told us anything like bad about, like, going into business or doing a business. They always were supportive. And I think that's aside from having each other, having our parents support us in our endeavors, I think was something that really, really helped us. Because I could imagine, like, being in a family or situation where people or family members are like, why are you doing this? Go get a job. It's more stable. Like, you just constantly, and our parents have huge influences on us. Like, they very influential. And so imagine them telling us, just get a job, like, you're gonna make stable income, and kept telling us those things. I feel like maybe
we would have thought about
it, and maybe we would have gotten jobs, and maybe we would be working at a job, and maybe making good income, but definitely not like in business, where it's not just the income but also the fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
You get to do what you want. We're here shooting a podcast in the middle of the day, 10:30, 11 a.m. Fulfillment's getting done, the products are getting made, ads are being done, and we're here recording and working with people, dealing with people, learning the psychology of people. All of it is fun, which is something that I don't think or will be very hard to have in a job. But yeah, so our parents support, I think they always were support. I mean, they were never like, I don't think they ever like told us, okay, go into business either, like, or you gotta continue, or like, they used to tell us, échale ganas, I don't know how to say it in English, but échale ganas, like, do your best. I don't know how to say it. They were always like that, but I think the fact that they always supported us and always believed in us was something that really helped us. Because then, and then at the same time, I know that maybe some people might say, but I don't have that. I don't have a brother. I don't have a sibling, or that would, go into business with me, or I don't like them. My parents tell me this. My parents tell me that. What about those instances? How would you handle that?
It's hard to say, because now I think maybe back then I would have succumbed to the pressure of like, damn, my family's right, my brother's right, my siblings are right, my mom, my dad, they're right, my cousins are right. Maybe back then I would have. Well, maybe to an extent, because then I had an ego back then too. But I think there would have been a greater chance of me listening to their opinions, listening to like my family just wants the best for me. Maybe it's true, instead of me maybe trying to start a business, not having any money in my name, going into debt. Maybe I should go back to school. I should get a career, a lawyer, doctor, engineer, whatever, people that make, maybe I would have done it. And now it's to the point where like, okay, like everything is proven that we've done that it doesn't make sense anymore. But I guess if I was in that situation, I think it would be a little bit harder. And I think it also depends on every situation, because I know some people, some families, they tell you certain things because they genuinely care. Maybe they're not seeing the whole picture or the whole perspective, but it's, you know, how they were raised, how they grew up, the environment they're in. Maybe like there's, if you want to start a business, and then how your parents or your family grew up is through school, getting a degree, finding a good job. It's going to be hard for them to understand the entrepreneur or the business mindset. So at least for the most part, I think that most parents or most siblings, they want the best for you. Yeah. Which it might discourage you, but ultimately they want the best for you. So I think with that, how to deal with that is you're going to have to grow thick skin. You're going to have to grow your mindset, your ability to resist that pressure, that constant, like, just look for a job, just look for your job. So I think that's one of the first ways to deal with that, is just learning how to deal with those constant, not attacks, they're not attacks, those constant, you know, comments from your loved ones. So I would say that's the first step. And
then it's not necessarily the next step, but I know that one that also I do believe helped us in having the support of our parents, which was the fact that I think up until like we started business, I think we've always been good kids. We've always been good. In terms of like school, we've never gotten into like any big trouble. We've never gotten into any big trouble. I think we were pretty good, decent, well-behaved kids in general. And I think the fact that they saw that, and I think, you know, we tried at school. So the fact that we were good, they saw that, you know, we were on, let's say, the right trajectory. I think they also, because of that, they assumed that whatever it is that we were doing, you know, it was going to be good and positive. And so I think that also helped us, you know, like finishing high school, you know, going through, school, never really having any issues. I think that also helped us. Because I do see, like, for example, if we were to be like bad kids where, you know, we always got kicked out of school, or suspension, detention, all these things, pretty much that's how I think, to an extent, my parents might have perceived us. And so pretty much not failures, but it would be harder for them to be supportive of the things that we do, because they recognize for us being, let's say, bad, getting in trouble, not doing what it is that we said we were going to do. But because we were not like that. Both of us were not like that. We were always like good. I think through that, you know, them like associating us with that, helped them be supportive of us. I think that's also, and so like, let's say even now, like, let's say if you are planning to start a business, I think that just starting from now, and it doesn't have to be in business, but in everything that you do good to your best of your abilities, be well behaved. Show your family that you are someone that is actually trying to be and do good and positive things. I think from that, they'll associate with you with that. And so I think that any actions that you do moving forward, they're gonna, okay, he has always been good, or he's, you know, started changing his life around, or starting being better. I think, okay, what in business, he's probably gonna be, continue that path.
One of the things I will say that I was thinking, you know, my thought process back then was different. It was like, fuck, we don't need school. Like, why are you going to do your work if you're going to, you know, start your business? You know how some people say, oh, I dropped out of school like at 16 and I'm going to become an entrepreneur, millionaire. I don't need to have my degree, which technically you don't. But I'm starting to realize that to become an effective, a successful entrepreneur, a business owner, you know, with a team, you need certain skill sets. And I think even though you're not going to use the information you're going to have in school, like history, like when am I going to learn that? Maybe from my citizenship test. Oh, what were you saying?
No, like the real history, right? Like,
oh, the real history, not what they try to teach us.
Yeah, which, I mean, gets into like all these other things, but it is whatever. I digress. Not whatever.
Yeah. But which we are going to have to learn that in the future. But anyways, that's beyond the point. So I know that technically, you're not going to learn you're not gonna use certain subjects in the real world, in real life. Which I think math, I think it's good for you. English, I failed English, I failed math. Mm-hmm. But that's because I was bored and whatnot. But yeah, that's beyond the point. So I understand that you're not gonna have certain subjects that you're gonna be applying to the real world, but the things that mm-hmm. are gonna grow your skills is your time management. With, I know you have certain projects, you have homework. Yep. Even though it's boring. Yeah. I mean, use ChatGPT to help you with that. Yeah. Even though it's boring, it's gonna give you certain skills mm-hmm. that you're gonna need, especially leading a team. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to learn that time management skills. You're gonna have to learn your organizational skills. You're gonna have to learn. You in business, especially in the beginning, you have to work a lot. You have to work consistently to build it up. It's not like how they say, "Oh, I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur, so I work whenever I want to." I'm like, yeah, but unless you're like lucky, you're not gonna make a lot of money. Yeah. So your work ethic, your work capacity needs to increase for that to happen. Because again, mm-hmm. in the beginning, maybe we weren't able to handle like 8 hours straight of work. Mm-hmm. But then little by little we were working, eventually 12 hours, 16 hours. And now it's just like, if we need to work, we work straight.
Yeah. And so that's something that you would say that school helped develop, like those skills, those habits.
It can. Mm-hmm. Same thing in a job. Mm-hmm. Work a job, even though it's minimum wage job, they're going to teach you certain skills, work ethic, showing up on time, dealing with people, interacting with teammates. It's going to show you. What I'm saying is, before I used to think differently. School wasn't necessary. You're not going to learn anything in school. You're not going to learn. Even working a minimum wage job is just to save money. But what I'm starting to realize now is that use those, which I think is not even, within the same topic.
It's not, but it, I mean,
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's one thing. It's because I know you mentioned that, you had to prove yourself.
Mm-hmm. To like the people around,
like, it'll be easier for you to get their support if you prove yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's, again, you're going to start proving yourself maybe like if you're young from school, and then into like your job, and then into maybe college, while you're figuring out your next business. So like, during that time, if you're able to perform there, then if you want to start something, you're going to get their support. But that's one part. And then what I'm saying is like, my mindset changed is like, you're also, you're going to be showing that you're effective. You're going to be able to say what you mean and do what you say. I forgot to say. But you're going to be able to handle that. But at the same time, you're going to learn skills. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. And so, I guess just going back to the topic, I think family support is extremely important. Yeah. We had our supports. We had, our family's support. And so it's extremely important because I do see people that they don't have the support. And it's a lot easier to just, be done with it. Quit. Give up. Yep. Give up. It's so much easier. But I think once people start, you start proving yourself, and once they start actually seeing results, like maybe like there was some doubts and I think briefly my dad mentioned that something along the lines of like, okay, like because we had a couple of failed businesses, so that I could see like in their head, I'm like, okay, that this is another one, so maybe there was some doubts. Yep. And then like there was some doubts, and that maybe like. And also I know that they were struggling too in terms of finance, and so maybe like they were at some point they were gonna ask us maybe for like not like that, but maybe if we could contribute some to certain things, and so but what pretty much negated and eliminated all that was the fact that we actually started having some results. We actually started having income. We actually started having employees. We started it got bigger and bigger. They saw that we got for the business, like I know the charger was really for the business, and we got the charger. We moved, renting a house in a good area in the LA County area. Then we bought a house. Then all these things, and so proof after proof is gonna like they're gonna be supportive because then they see the positive effect that's had. And so I think like just showing them like results that it's working. And like how I said, even if you're not at that point, I think just through yourself and whatever it is that you do, just be good or try your best, and then people are gonna associate yourself with the good things that come out from what it is that you do. And I think from that, like parents, I think that's one of the reasons why they say no, don't do this or no, don't do that, because I think we were pretty good. Like okay, maybe like I I was okay in school, but there was also some I did find it boring. That's the thing. I did find it boring too.
It is kind of boring.
Yeah. And so, but the fact that so school, let's say we got average to good grades, but we didn't really get in trouble.
Nope.
Like in trouble where like they were gonna suspend us or
nope.
Expel us. Like not even close.
Nope.
I mean, we got in a little bit of trouble. Maybe you didn't do your homework, you came late or whatnot. Very minimal, but nothing to call my parents.
Yep.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that fact, I think it started. It allowed my parents to be supportive of what it is that we're doing because we had nothing wrong to show. Yep. And so I think that's somewhere where you can start. I think wherever it is that you are or what you're doing, do your best, and people will associate yourself with that. And I think from that, like our parents, anyone who your influence, family, will start being supportive.
Yeah, because even in the beginning, even in our small wins with this business, again, getting someone starting to hire people, like, are you sure you're gonna be able to have enough work for them? And then we have that, and then we moved to a medium-sized warehouse, but it was a lot bigger than our first one. Mm-hmm. Are you sure you're gonna be able to pay the rent? But then we moved to the bigger warehouse, which was 6,000 square feet. I don't know about this one. Mm-hmm. And not in a bad way. It's just like, again, like little things. And then like how you said, the charger, and then moving to the house, which the first one was the renting. Yeah. Are you sure we're going to be able to be good? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then buying the house, are you sure? But then eventually, like win after win, now they're like, all right, you guys know what
you guys know what you're doing. Like there's no even questions or doubts. Yep. Like we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do. Which we do. I think we do.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what you're trying to say is like, start proving yourself from now, like the small wins. Like, all right, this guy, he's accomplishing everything he's saying that he's gonna do. So like, all right, I trust his judgment. If he tells me that he's gonna start a business, it might take him a year, 2 years 100%. For him to get traction. I mean, he's proven himself, since the beginning. So he'll continue delivering on his promises.
And that is how I think you get the support of your family, who maybe might not be that supportive.
Yeah.
Because really, there is really nothing to say about that. Like, they can't go against, like...
No.
Like, I think that's... You get your support of your family by default.
Yep. One thing I did want to say is because I know there's those rare instances. So at least for me, I do find the support of the family very important. But I know there's those rare instances where... For lack of better words, there's toxic parents, toxic siblings, toxic sons and daughters. And that's very rare. And then those are for the people that, I don't know. But there are those instances, right? Yeah. So I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business. I want to, grow my career. But I don't have the support of my family. Because I've seen some podcasts, like the financial audit person. It's like, dude, these people are taking, like, the parents are taking loans in the name of their children as soon as they turn 18, X, Y, and Z. So there are those small instances. Okay, so if I'm not like 100%, I will never get the support of my family. Is there other places I would be able to get the support from?
Yeah, and I think it's just and I think we've talked about it before. Is I think in that situation you disassociate it with the things or the people that are not gonna contribute to what you want, and hopefully what you want is good. And that doesn't mean, like, for example, oh, my parents are dead to me or my family is dead to me. That doesn't necessarily mean that, but maybe for that particular like situation or like what it is you're trying to do, maybe you disassociate yourself from that. Like in the Hermosi, like his dad, like he couldn't get out of his grips. So he had to move across the country.
And he only let him know once he was
already there. And so he disassociated. He was able to be himself and do himself, and crazy how met Layla and where they're at now. So I think disassociating yourself and surrounding yourself with an environment that will produce more, or it's more fruitful for what it is that you want. I think that's the easiest one. And I like how I said, I don't think that means that you say my parents are dead to me or anything like that. It's just maybe for that particular circumstance you just disassociate yourself.
So get yourself out of the environment if possible. And then I know there's also like groups. There's groups of like-minded people, entrepreneurs, the same age, people who already have done business, who have accomplished, their goals, and then maybe they want to take on mentees. So there's a lot of groups, there's a lot of events, there's networking events that you could go and you could just start meeting people and grow something together with the support.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so you associate yourself with those people, get into those groups, being surrounded by that, which is something that we need to do. We need to do it. Even up to this point, I think one of our failures, let's say, is not networking, is not surrounding ourselves with those type of people, because pretty much everyone that we surround ourselves with which is not good, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I generally don't mean it in a way. We just need to associate ourselves with people that are bigger than us, to where like they see things differently than us, so we could learn from them.
Yeah, because that's something that
because up to this point we haven't.
No.
We haven't gone to any group. We haven't done anything.
Yeah, at least for the goals that we want to reach. Because growing the company, like we don't know anyone who has like a $10 million business in revenue a year business, $100 million.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it when it comes to family support. Do you have anything?
No,
I don't have anything else. But with that being said, this has been another episode of Driven. My name is Juan.
My name is Alexis.
And we'll see you on the next one.